Hello traders, Samurai Trader here. Welcome to session 153. In today's session you'll be watching how I day trade the ES live. I'm trading the 2-tick Renko and tick charts are my preferred charts to trade, leaning more towards Renko because some of the setups and strategies that I use work brilliantly on Renko charts, and also very easy to learn how to trade on Renko. So as we get underway, there is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. And the great thing is virtually every trading platform today allows you to trade on the simulator before you go live. And also many markets now have micro contracts, so you can start on the simulator, master the setups, go to the micros where you basically only need a few $100, and then you can advance from there. Now this is the principle that we're looking at with my style of trading. I want to be trading in the direction of the higher time frame, and it kicks butt. And I want you to think about the logic. That is, when you're trading in direction of a higher time frame, you've got people taking profit on the way through, or stops are being hit, so you'll get the market will retrace, then it takes off again. It breathes in and out. And the best way I like to look at it, it's like tides. So the smaller trends are the waves. Then as you'll see, and I'm not sure how many these trades I took were counter trend trades, but then we finally get to the end of the wave, if you like, and then we start to retrace, and that's where we have what I call reversion to the mean and divergence trade setup. And I recommend that brand new traders stick with trading with the trend, as it's a lot easier. Now very important is the markets that I prefer to trade. Now of course we've got a lot of forex traders. Watch my videos and become members. Then you'd be trading the equivalent of the yen or the euro, and we've got what we call currency futures that I trade. But I'll tell you what market is really hot right now is the Russell. If you're a smaller trader, the Russell after hours is brilliant, what I call the Globex session, which we'll see more of in a moment. And as I mentioned, in today's session I'm trading the ES, which is $12.50 a tick or $50 a point, or you can trade the micro, which is $1.25 a tick or $5 a point. A great spot to start. So in today's session I actually had I think must have been 3 different trades or sessions where I traded. I stopped and then I decided to fire off some more trades, and I'll explain those as we go along. I'm very much about POQ, the power of quitting. Get in, get out, get paid. So I've got a formula that I work on, and which basically is the rate of return that I'm after. Now a lot of day traders will say, or even educators say, don't have daily targets. I think that's BS. All right, if you know what you're doing, you can have a target. It gives you a goal, and I love to hit that target and stop. I find it frustrating when I hit a target, say 3,000 or 2,000 for the day, then I keep going there when I have a couple of losses. I don't like that. Okay, so I prefer to quit when I hit my daily target. That works for me. But hey, horses for courses. If you're a young gun, you might be happy to keep trading throughout the day. I'm 66. I want to get in, get out, and wrap it up. Now what you're going to see is the overlay chart. Now the overlay chart is where on the lower part of the screen here, and also that red and blue indicator are indicators from a higher time frame. What it allows me to see is what's happening on the one screen on a higher time frame. So that is one option that I use at times, and I was doing it more because of just one of our members had said, hey, have you seen this, Ray? So I just thought I'd try it. When I say try it, I use it quite regularly, but just this new concept that, well actually it's not really new, but this idea he had. So I traded on the overlay chart. Now normally, and I'd wrap my trades up. Now it was 3 out of 3 by the way I hit. Then I decided that the market's been exceptionally good recent times. What we're looking for are these big waves, and so we've just been getting so many of them. So then I decided to fire off some more trades, and in fact I think it was only over here I decided to start recording. I was just doing my own trading and I thought I should record this. So you'll see that there's two videos I'm going to show you. Then finally, or maybe this is when I started to record. Anyway, we'll see it when we go to the charts. Now very quickly, a little bit of self-promotion. If you haven't already downloaded my free ebook about day trading, the truth about day trading, the description link below, make sure you subscribe to my channel to be kept up to date with all of my latest videos. Better still, why don't you join me as a member for $297? You get all of my Ninja Trader indicators, TradeStation indicators. Look, I've got indicators there for other trading platforms, not as comprehensive. However, I give you the settings, the custom settings I use on every one of my indicators, so you can replicate on virtually any trading platform what you see on my charts. And the members area, you have lifetime access to, and it would have to be probably the most comprehensive website for scalpers and day traders. I've been day trading now for 28 years. You can only see part of my library here. It's huge. Now I don't say that to impress you, I say that to impress upon you. I've got thousands of hours of trading experience and research and development, which I'm passing on to you. And there's over 35 PowerPoints, there's hundreds of hours of recordings. But the best part is you also don't have to watch them all. That is, I direct you on what are the top 2 or 3 strategies to start with. Okay, and focus like a laser beam on those. And of course, in my training, I expand as you gain experience. You may choose just to focus on trend trading and just what I call the 34 and the 2Bs, and you could trade those the rest of your life. However, most traders want to keep building, if you like, the number of setups that they have. It's a bit like a tradesman with a toolbox. You've got a different tool in the toolbox for a different job. Also, you can I've got a bonus going with in the 297 you can attend 8 of my live 2-hour trading sessions. So 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Tuesday and Wednesday, that's Eastern Standard Time, US time. I run these sessions each month, and they are recorded, and I'll throw those in as a bonus. So they're either live, you can attend, you can type in questions, or you can watch the recordings. If you wish to continue after that, you drop me an email. I've got just under, I don't know if I've got the figure there, no I don't, I think we've got at the moment 297 members, or no, it's not 297, it's about 280 or something like that. You know what, I'm going to tell you exactly. Here we go, I had to be exact. Okay, so in my live trading room, I also run a live trading room as well, where I'm explaining trades as they're set up in real time, and there's 300 in the coaching room, so you get to access that. So you've got traders from all around the world attending these sessions. So let's get back into that. I got a bit distracted, bit disorientated. So 300 in the coaching sessions. So very important. Let's start with the critical factors. First of all is money management. The reason traders, besides lack of discipline, they keep blowing their accounts and not kicking butt as traders, because it's not difficult. And you know, a lot of the things that we do are easy. And traders sometimes say, well, look, why don't everyone make money then? Well, because the easy things are also easy not to do. But so first of all, money management. We are money managers. You're a risk manager when you're a day trader. So we're looking for the right entries, the 80-20 plus trades. We're looking for those trades. Now, you need to have, with what I'm about to show you, 6,250 to do it correctly. However, a lot of traders don't have that sort of capital, or maybe you've got that sort of capital but you don't have the trading experience yet, and that's where you start on a micro with about $625. Or another huge option now is to trade with a prop firm. There are dozens of them out there, not all good, but where you can be trading their capital and get underway for a couple of $100. That's a conversation that I cover in training. And by the way, I've got no alliance with any of these companies. So down here, if we go for here 300 net a day, I should actually look, it's better I show you on the spreadsheet. By the way, traders, my videos are raw, real, and unedited. Okay, so I'm not running to a script here. So let me slow down a bit. If you're trading, say, the 2-tick on the micro, and you go for $32 a day, now that means that if you achieve, and I've got to say that legally I've got to say potentially 32 a day, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. That's only 26 ticks a day. Within 12 weeks you've got a $1,500 a week income, potentially, I've got to say legally, and you've now got 6,446. So you're now ready to start rolling over and trading the big contract. Now for me, as I mentioned, I'm POQ, get in, get out, get paid, finish for the day. I've got here, what if you went for say $313 a day? My target's 325 on average, but if I've got pristine trading conditions, as you're about to see, I'll fire off some more trades. Within 11 weeks I've got an income of $12,000 a week, $56,000 in my account. This is the true potential. Now it also means, though, traders, you've got to work at it. But as you're about to see, as I explain step by step in my training video, and I'll only spend 10 minutes of them, that it's a learnable skill. Now very quickly, what if you only targeted or achieved $15 a day? You see, this is where the power of a miracle, the compounding, comes in. And by the way, with my compound sheet that you see here, how it works is you only start trading an additional contract every time you double your money. So if we look at this spreadsheet just here for an example, where we've earning now 10-12,000 a week, trading 8 contracts, how you've built up to that, when you've doubled your money, that is where each time you get another 6,250, you start trading an additional contract. By the way, you know what, we've got traders switching off now watching a YouTube video. They don't want to hear this, and they wonder why they don't make money. Okay, this is a sensible trading plan where we're using the market's money. But what if you've burnt yourself in the past or blown a few accounts? We've got to rebuild that self-trust, and we do that, of course I cover this extensively in trading, by just going for small targets. Within 24 weeks you've now got the money, going for just $15 a day to roll over and start trading the big contract. What you may then decide is, you know what, I only want to fire off and go for, and these are after any losses naturally, just go for 2 net trades a day. Within 22 weeks I've got the potential of a $5,000 a week income. My account's 50,000. Within 28 weeks from there, okay, I've now got a 10,000 a week income, looking for just a couple of net trades a day. But traders don't think about this. Okay, this is a business. So well, let's now get to the recording. So some of the key things that I'm looking at is, where are my pivots and the Camarilla pivots, and you'll see those on the charts in a moment. All of these levels here, major EMAs, swing highs and lows. For a new trader, you can look at that and say, crumbs, how am I meant to learn this? It ain't difficult. Within an hour or so of explaining this in detail, and these all plot automatically in most cases on your charts, now I understand the logic behind them. So let's go to the charts, or in this case let's go to the recordings. So which is the first one? So let's start on the overlay chart to begin with. Actually, is this the overlay chart one? Traders, I might have the wrong day. Just one sec, let me make sure. By the way, I've got dozens of these recorded trading sessions where I'm live in. And by the way, I don't do a voiceover when I'm trading. I want to stay focused. I just hit record, and it just makes it. And that's the other important thing. When you do trade, you've got to focus like a laser beam. Let me get the right recording, or maybe this is it. Just a moment. Okay, I now get it. I started recording on a standard chart here, and that's why I was confused, because I want to show you the overlay chart. So let me record again, and let's start off, and in a moment we're going to switch to the overlay chart. Now, as I mentioned, the overlay chart has got some really good benefits, particularly for a newer trader, where they can see all the indicators from, or not all, but most of the indicators from a higher time frame on here. But this is what it would look like on a standard chart. Now let me explain a couple of things here. So I've shorted 10 contracts. Now the number of contracts you trade will depend, of course, on your account size. Now your broker will tell you you only need like 500 or maybe even 1,000 now. With great volatility in the market, they increase the margins. You only need, say, $1,000 per contract, and I said 6,000. The difference is that if you have a loss here of say 10 ticks, that's $125. It's 12.5% of your money. That's no good for us. We only ever want to restrict our losses to 2%. So I'm trading 10 lots. I've shorted here, and I just want to point out, you had that was a valid entry. This was, that was for divergence traders. There was a beautiful double top up here. You had another entry here, another potential here. I've shorted just here. Now remember, my target is 325 a day. Now in a moment, and now I've gone over to the overlay chart. Now the overlay chart, let me pause that, just shows me that on the higher time frame we are heading down. Now remember, I'm looking for retracements on the entry chart, little pullbacks, and then trend continuation setups. Now this can be a little problematic here, because see that red and that black line, they are pivots, and that crimson line, just, or actually what is it, magenta, that is actually the low of day. Now usually I'm very cautious in selling into pivots or major EMAs. Why? Because we bounce off them. So just here, now I've gone to break even, and that was a plus 7 ticks, and I'm after 10 ticks. That's $125 or $12.50 on 10 contracts, and down we go. We've hit that target. Trade number one. Now I'm just going to move this along. Now I'm taking a counter trend trade. This is the one I recommend new traders don't trade. Stay with the trend. Now did you see how I just scrunched up the chart just then? What I'm looking for is what's under the chart. That is, and you can see I'm filled. And just to point out two things, first of all, what's under, that is, have I got pivots down below or major moving averages? Why? Because they act as a self-fulfilling prophecy. As professional traders, we sell and buy into those levels. Like up here we had for days, see, now this is midnight, and I should point this out, the markets only close for 1 hour. So from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the futures markets close. Now you've got much greater volume during the New York hours. However, this time of day, so this is at the moment, this would be 2 hours before the London Open. So from 6 p.m. onwards, there's some great trading, and the market's generally a lot slower. Now we've got the at the moment we've got the war raging in Iran, so we're experiencing a lot more volatility. But still, if you wait for the right time and trade the right time frame, it's still very tradable. Okay, so when you see me scrunch those up, that's why. So you can start trading the Globex market when you get home from work, and it's actually my favorite time. Now in my part of the world, it's really 4 to 5 p.m. onwards is this time frame right now, so it suits me down to the ground. So here, this is I think this one was, yes it is, this is what I call a T3. A T3 trade is a reversion to the mean trade, very mechanical. It's very rules based, and that's the important part here. Every one of my setups are based on easy to learn patterns. The thing that lets you down is not the pattern, because we've got a trade, we believe in probabilities of 20. That is, it's no good thinking about the one individual trade, and I better explain this one in a moment. you got to think over 20 trades. Will you have 2 losses in a row? Absolutely. Okay, but you've got to get straight back on the horse because these strategies work. Now what I've done here is gone to break even perhaps a little bit early because it is a counter trend trade. Look at your trend here. You can see quite clearly we're in a downtrend here. So at times you'll quite often see I'll go to break even quite early or even exit the trade. And so I can't remember what I do here. 2 days in day trading this is a long time. Now if I feel there's like I've moved my stop back down, that there's more in it, I'll pull my stop back because automatically at times, it depends which ATM strategy I'm using, it'll take me to break even. And what I'm looking at here, I've got the same setup on a higher time frame, which increases the probability of this trade. And once again, it's just a pattern. So here I'll move this along, so because this will go for another 15 minutes, which we don't want to really wait there. Now I'm still in this trade, and this is something where should have I got out of that trade. Now that actually hit 8 ticks or $100 or per contract. That actually hit $1,000. It might have actually hit 1150, and this is where sometimes I should have just gone to and locked in that and taken what I could out of it, but I've stayed with it. As you're about to see, I eventually do get filled, but when I sit back and reflect back on my trade, sometimes if it starts to retrace, something I argue with myself all the time. But anyway, it's the end result that we're looking for. So let's just move this along a wee bit. So I'm still in the trade, and you can see there now just on my stop loss is still 1 tick below. If I went long short here, 1 tick above. So that's what I'm usually doing. I like to see my stop 1 tick above or 1 tick below. So you can see my target here, and it's just below these pivots. Okay, so we're just waiting to get up there and hit this target. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Okay, I'm not, because the probabilities of a reversal or of another short trade are increasing. Why? Look at my major EMAs heading down. Now I can't remember if I get a trade in here, but it would be logical, so we'll see in a moment. So we're in a downtrend. I've now as I said, I really should have got out there, but never mind. Well, it still worked out in the end, and it looks now see how I've now got a sell order in. Now that order is based upon something that's happening on the anchor chart 1, and it's mechanical, so I know exactly where to put my order, and it's just easy. So I've got my order in. I'm waiting for something to happen on my anchor chart 1. I'm going to hold back a couple of little secrets because they're worth a great deal of money to you. And so here I've just gone to a standard chart as well, just there for a moment, just checking it out. I'm just going to move this along. So now I'm filled. Okay, so here my stop once again is 1 tick above, and once again I've got a maximum stop loss of 10 ticks. And see down here, right down there, that's a low of day. I'm surprised I didn't move my target down 1 more tick. But anyway, it's called front running. What I like to do is get out, not always, but sometimes 1 tick above, but we'll just see how this one goes. Well, I know it turns into a winner, but we'll just move this along here. And just there, I've just gone back and just typed in while I'm waiting for this, just what my target is. Okay, so my target is 325. Now, once again, if you've got money being thrown at your feet, that is, you've got markets that are just kicking you these massive waves, this is where then we might jump back in and start, and as you'll see in a moment, after these trades you'll see me fire off some further trades. So just move this along. So as we're coming down, now you can have it set up on your ATM where you automatically go to break even, okay, which is something I've done. Now it's automatically sent me a break even, and when I say break even, that's my entry price plus 1 tick. I usually like to add one tick which covers commission. Okay, you remember I'm trading the ES here, 10 contracts, so one tick's $125. so your commissions on this, what's my commission? My commission on this on a full contract is $4.36 per contract, or $43.60 per 10 lots. So note this here, what I'm doing, I'm thinking, do I get out of this now? And I've got out early, and the reason for that, I've hit my target well and truly, and this is at so I've been trading here for about 25 minutes, if that, and so I'm out of that trade, and we'll see in a moment what happens there. Okay, so I'm up 3-4, we'll see that figure in a moment. So a net of 3,344, so I've hit my target. So moving along, and look at that, this here, we've missed that low by one tick. Now eventually we'll quite often get through those levels. By the way, what am I doing there? I'm just looking at the anchor chart just there, the higher time frame. So let's now quickly look at the next video. Okay, so I'm just going back there on the higher time frame, or just on the standard chart, just reviewing my chart, charts there. I've still got recording. Let me just pause this and I'll pull up the next, sorry, I keep pausing. I'll pull up the next set of live trades. Now with these trades, I'd already fired these off, so I had no intention of actually recording, so I'd fired some more trades, and at this stage I'm actually up to 6,200. Bit of a typo there, there's one digit there, it shouldn't be there, but $621 I'm already up per contract, so $6,000. So up here, by the way, see that black line? This black line, traders, is a EMA from a higher time frame. After some years ago, I discovered these magic numbers, which are, look, an exaggeration, but EMAs where we bounce off them time and time again. Look at this here, once, twice, and I call these T12s, and here in the end we actually ended up with divergence just there. So I'm already up 6 for 6. So remember, this is only an hour later, so now I'm up 6 for 6 for the day, and I've decided to fire off another trade. For members watching this, this was a T10 entry, which is usually just a no-brainer type trade. A T10 entry is a reversal confirmation. It's a cross between a trend following and a counter trend trade, and these do really well, and I'll move this along quite quickly because we do get I've gone to break even here, and so I'm out of this particular trade. So let's look for our next one. So that was, by the way, a 50% retracement from that point there to this point. That was exactly 50%. Now if you've never heard of Fibonacci levels or retracements using fib levels, no need to get too tied up with that. I'll talk about them in training sessions all the time, but it doesn't form a critical part of our trading, which is important. Now I've gone short here, and I think this is where I get a loss. This once again is also a no-brainer entry, and this is where I think this is the one where I get stopped. So just moving right along here, is this the one where I get stopped? It might be. So here, just note, I had a lower low, lower high. I've got a 9-tick stop loss in place, and I'm fairly certain I get stopped on this trade. And for members watching, I'll just scroll back there just to have a bit of a look there. For members watching, that was a T10 on the anchor chart 1 as well. So a couple of really good reasons for entering. This is trade 8. So remember, I've got 6 out of 6. Where was trade 7? Now I'm in trade 8, and I'm just looking at those fib retracement levels, just a matter of interest. So I've got a retrace, and I get stopped on the trade. This is gonna happen. Now I jump in, and look at this, we're bouncing again. This is a T12 entry just here, And so I'd that it cost me 1,250 or 125 per contract plus the commission. So I wanted to now this is not revenge trading, by the way. There's a big difference. Note my stop is 1 tick above, and I think I even went for a larger target on this. Yes, I went for 12 ticks here instead of 10. Why? I'm still technically on a higher time frame in a really strong downtrend. I know there's a very good chance I'm going to come back down and hit this day's low. Very good chance. So we'll move it along and see what happens. Gives me a little bit of heat, pulls back there a bit. Now we've got, you know, this entry here that I took, there's the same pattern. So if I wasn't already in, I would be jumping in on this one if I wasn't already in the T12, because these patterns kick butt big time. And so let's just play this here. Down we come. No, do I keep my stop, my 12 tick target? Yes, I do. Okay, now look at that. That's $1,700. Now I'm filled. Now let's just, I'm going to have to move my camera because I need to move this bottom left, just move this along. Do I show what happens? See how we've come down and nearly hit the day's low. Now an argument can be, well, why not stay with the trade? Why not trail? You can do that. As a scalper though, I just want to get in, get out. I find that less stressful. Now remember that reversion to the mean trade I mentioned to you, that counter trend trade? There was the exact same pattern just here. And so just there we had the exact same pattern after that, but now I've hit my target. Okay, so I'm up. I had 8 wins, 1 loss. Now let me quickly show you today, next day. So let me just pause this and I'll quickly show you this. So sorry about that. Let me just quickly catch up here. So at 3 p.m. you'll get usually a really fast move in the market. So prior to 3 p.m. and usually I'm trading this a higher time frame. So sorry about that glitch just there. I forgot to hit record. So just here, and in this particular case I only picked up 1 tick. Now it come down and hit 7 ticks. I decided to then get out and I didn't take any more trades for the day, and there was a couple of really nice setups, and the reason being the market can slow right down. So I usually don't like trading after 3 p.m. but here in this particular case I thought, oh, I'll fire off 1 trade there, and quite frankly I should have just got out down here. So I got out there with 1 tick, basically break even. So traders, look, I've covered a great deal in this session with you. Why don't you come and join me as a member? For $297 I'm going to give you this skill set. You've got hundreds of hours of recordings, 35 PowerPoints, lifetime access to the membership, to the members area, and any improvements and enhancements. I haven't even gone into the feedback that members get or give, and even their trading ideas from their experience, etc., which you get hold of as well. So $297, you get the 8 sessions, coaching sessions as well. I'm really hurrying here. I'll see you in one of my sessions. Thank you, traders. Make sure you hit subscribe too. Thank you.